Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be a review and an unboxing of the 1976 George A Romero masterpiece, Martin. So nurse, scissors, that through you. I just want to open this on camera because you just never know, dear. Well, that was the worst deep folly of all time. Let's stay at that. Right, there's no damage at all. Time to now go and check Martin out. So glad to finally get this movie in my hands. It seems to have been talked about for a long time. Second Sight said they were going to do it a while ago, but they said they were going to take their time with it. Now that's great when it comes to a movie like this, when it comes to any restoration. Don't rush it, there's no point. Do it once and do it good. So I'll quickly show you what is on this. You can freeze frame that for yourselves. And you can see what you get in this disc, in this set. So before I talk to you about the picture quality, I'll show you what you get inside this package. This is an amazing addition, and the best thing about this is the fact is they've done this with Martin. They could have literally just put out a regular release, but they didn't. They went all out on this one. Now, as usual, I've kept the shrink wrap on here at this point. I mean, the box is beautiful box. I love the white box on here. It's really good, and it's Second Sight. When they do something, they know what they're doing. But I do keep this on for as long as possible, and that just protects them just that little bit more. First up, you get 5 art cards. Here is Martin, played by John Amplas. If you think those teeth look quite false, well, you'd be right, but there's more about that in the film. There is the person, I think it's his cousin. That's the person he goes to stay with when Martin visits his family. There's Tom Savini in an early acting role. There's George A Romero playing a priest, and that is a family member of Martin's, but that is also George A Romero's wife at the time. Next is this amazing 104-page booklet with some amazing art on there. Now, if you haven't seen this movie before and you're watching this movie for the first time on this release, please do not check out this booklet. There's some pictures in the centre of here, and they give out major spoiler alerts to this movie. So if you're going in for this movie for the first time, please do not look at this until you watch the movie. You'll understand what I mean when you see it, because it's got loads of text in here. It's a really good read, but also you've got to be very careful because it gives away quite a few things in here, especially a certain thing which I don't want to go into. But this is as always with Second Sight, this booklet is just the best. And like I say, that artwork there is so good. Next is the case housing all the discs. It's got quite minimalistic artwork on here, which I really like. So in here, you get 3 discs. You get the soundtrack, which is brilliant. You get the Blu-ray, and you also get the 4K of Martin. Now, the stuff on the Blu-ray and the 4K are exactly the same special features. So the music to this movie, a bit like the movie itself, is quite unique. You don't really see a vampire movie like this, if I'm honest. And in fact, I've never seen another one like it. You haven't really got many movies that copy this as well, which is great. If you're going in thinking you're going to see a vampire movie like you've seen before, think again, because you couldn't be further from the truth. So before I talk about the picture quality on this movie, and you'll be quite surprised at what I'm going to say, I just want to talk about the fact that this movie was one that George A Romero made just before Dawn of the Dead, and it's kind of like one of those ones that's of George A Romero's ones. It's quite low budget. When you look at it, you'll know what I mean. It's got black and white sequences in. Apparently, George A Romero wanted to shoot it completely in black and white, but he was talked out of it because they reckon that the people wouldn't have bought it. They wouldn't have went to see it. I think at the time they wouldn't have went to go and see a black and white horror movie. And you can tell it's low budget. To be honest, when I first saw this, I saw this on TV, and I was blown away by it because I'd never seen anything like it before. It's so realistic. Imagine if you had a modern day vampire story, well, in 1976 anyway, and the person it's like a modern day, it's not like a fantasy movie at all. It's what would happen in a real world if somebody thought they were a vampire, basically. And it's played like that. Now, weirdly enough, around the time when Arrow released their DVD of Martin, I was actually talking with John Amplas on Facebook. He's a really nice guy. And we had quite a few chats, mainly about Martin. I just had to express them, just to say, look, I think this is one of the most amazing movies of all time, and he was so gracious with that. He's like, oh, thanks very much. And we had some really good chats about the whole thing about Martin. And at the time, it was great to have the Arrow version out on DVD, because this movie has never got too much love by the way of getting good releases until this one. The Arrow DVD was pretty good. I had that version, but I sold it when I bought my drums. And it had 2 discs on. Now, it had the other cut that's not in here is like an Italian cut, but that's about 10 minutes shorter. And I remember the picture quality on it being quite bad, actually. Now, I don't think that it would have added anything to this set, but it'd be nice to have that. I don't know where that one is in the world. If it's something that maybe Arrow sort of half created for the release, I'm not too sure about it. But it was quite different in its look to the original Martin, which is on here. Now, there was talk about this huge, massive cut, this 2 hours 20 minutes long cut, which was apparently meant to be in really bad condition. Now, I was hoping that they were going to release this and put it on here, even if it was in bad condition. It would be great to see all these extra, this like sort of storyline to Martin, but it's not on here, unfortunately. But that's about, like I said, that's about the only downside I can say to this movie. It's not really a downside. It's just that when you think it was out there, and they haven't been able to get it, or they haven't been able to scrub it up as much, it is what it is. So what I did was I put this on last night when I unboxed it, and I thought, right, I'll have a quick look at the picture quality on the 4K. So I've only watched one review about this movie, and it was from the 4K Michelin Stars channel down below. I'll actually leave a link to that video down below. What Martin said was, quite rightly, that the 4K is quite grainy. Now, I know that this movie is never going to look good. It was shot in 16mm. Actually, it was shot in super 16mm. So it's got the potential to look better than a normal sort of 16mm movie. It's not 35mm. So I knew there was going to be limitations. That's why originally I thought, oh, it's going to be Blu-ray only. And so you've got your 4K and you've got your Blu-ray. Now what I did was I put the 4K on, and I did check it out, and the grain is quite heavy on it. Now, I've got a couple of screenshots from it, and bear with me because this is just on my phone. But what I'm going to say, and you're going to see this, the colours in the picture quality, and this is just my phone taking it off my telly, so ignore the quality, but just have a look at the colours there. So that was a screenshot there, and when them colours came on the screen, I thought, wow, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Also, you've got you've got a good level of detail there, and the greenery as well. That is kind of what you're going to expect when you're looking at it. But bear in mind, it's not as good. It's better than that because that's just on my phone. So, but I did think there was a large amount of grain on it. Now, there is an actual, if you don't want to buy this set or you want to check this film out, there is a version of it on YouTube. So I'll leave a link down to that down below. The full video, you can see the full film. And the full film doesn't have that much grain in it, but the quality in it is nowhere near like the quality of this 4K. The 4K is very sharp compared to all the other ones, but it is very grainy, but it's very colourful, as you can see. Now, what I did was, and this is the part that's going to kind of shock myself, I put the Blu-ray on. Now, the Blu-ray, the grain in it is quite a lot less. It's reduced. Now, obviously, when they've really sort of went for the best quality, they've had to boost this picture up in a fashion, and you can see the grain is going to be more prevalent. Now, I can say, and this sounds a bit strange coming from me, that if you want the best quality in this movie, you probably are better off watching the Blu-ray. Now, the best thing about this is because you've got the choices. It's up to yourself. The colours, as you can see, are much better on the 4K. There's no comparison, but they're still good on the Blu-ray. The good thing about the Blu-ray is that the grain goes, so you've got the best of both worlds. If you're not bothered by the grain, which I'm not really bothered by it, but because it's not noisy, but it's there throughout the film. Apart from the dark scenes, it kind of goes when the dark scenes are around. You might want to check out the Blu-ray. Now you might think to yourself, well, why did you bother getting this set with a 4K and not just waiting to find out the reviews of it? Well, basically because I love this film. I just wanted this package. I think that this movie needs to be seen, and it needs to be in this like fantastic package. So that for me, it's a no-brainer to own this. Now, if I do watch the Blu-ray all the time, that's not a problem because the 4K is always there if I want to go for it. I've got the best of both worlds. But maybe this is one of these movies that kind of didn't really need the 4K, or might put some people off if they just got the 4K alone and might have thought, I'm not into this, because some people don't like heavy grain structures. But either way, the luxury of owning this release is you've got your choice. You can just take a pick, and whatever suits you best you can watch. Just know that you're getting an absolutely brilliant version on this, and if you're not too keen on the grain structure on the 4K, just put the Blu-ray on. You're basically getting the same experience. The colours aren't as bright, the sharpness is pretty good, just not as good in there, but the grain structure is a lot more eye-pleasing on the Blu-ray. Now I did check out a couple of the different soundtracks on here. You do get like 5.1, you get a mono, you get a stereo as well. I don't personally feel at this point there was that much of a difference. The 5.1 did seem a bit fuller, but like I say, I've just really just got into this set and not really looked at it too much. I've just went through a few key scenes, which is the ones that I remember from the movie. And speaking of the movie itself, I think this movie is just an absolute classic. Like I say, you will never see another vampire movie like Martin. It's done in a way that it's so realistic. It actually could happen in real life. Like some of these other vampire movies seem to be that ridiculous and sometimes far-fetched. This one is the most grounded vampire movie you'll ever see. And for a movie that came out in 1976, I don't think it was a big hit, but I think it kind of might have missed its audience. And to be honest, apart from the Arrow video DVD release, which is long out of print, this movie has just not got, for me, it's not got a very good release history until now. So after Arrow Video released Martin and Dawn of the Dead, they seem to go into the out of print desert and just stay there for a long length of time, like 10, 12 years. And it's great now that this movie will be in circulation and anybody who wants to see it can see it. Now, if this movie comes out on a standard release and it comes out with the 4K only and the Blu-ray only, separate releases, you might want to, think about this. If you want to get the 4K one by itself, you haven't got the choice if you want to go back to the Blu-ray. So it's just, like I say, I'm just giving you a bit of a heads up. It's quite strange that I'm saying don't look at the 4K. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that based on the grain structure, you might want to go for the Blu-ray. But it doesn't matter to me, because whatever I've got, I have got a great way of watching this movie in whichever format I wanted to see it in. So all I can say is that I'm very happy with this release. I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to get into special features. There is new special features on here and some other ones ported from previous releases. Some of the Arrow ones do find their way into here. And I can't recommend this movie and this set enough. So that's my thoughts on the 1976 classic from George A Romero Martin. So thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.